Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. Oh, we were right, dude. Yo, shout out to Tinwin. Tinwin brought this to our attention yesterday. You guys seeing this? Look at this. Yo, I wanna bring something up too. I'm getting to where I'm starting not to trust Metacritic. Like the actual critic reviews on Metacritic anymore. I'm getting to where I don't trust those anymore. And I'll show you why. So here we are, Jedi Survivor. And look at this, 33% positive of over 1,500 reviews, almost 1,600 reviews at this point. This game dropped yesterday, not even a day ago. I think it was probably closer to like 12 hours ago or something like that. Look at this. So far, the loading screen's pretty okay. I have no idea what it's like past the title screen, so it doesn't load past that at the moment. Star Wars CPU Survivor. Ah, dude, go with it. Yeah, give it, dude. Yeah, yeah. All right, bro. Oh, man. Game is extremely fun, performs terribly. I'm using a 3090 FE and a 5700X, getting consistent 30 frames in some areas. Other areas give me a mostly consistent 45 frames, which is still balls. This is at 1440p. Lowering the settings and using FSR doesn't make a tiny bit of difference. It goes up to like 19 gigs of VRAM. It's a rad game, but definitely wait unless you have 24 gigs of VRAM and don't mind playing games at 30 frames per second. Runs like my ass after Taco Bell. 3080 is not good enough to run the game, apparently. Check this out. RTX 4080, i9 13900KF, 32 gigs of DDR5, latest drivers on Windows 11. I can get around 30 frames per second. Amazing. Oh, bro, I love this right here. If you put the same effort in testing as in care of stockholders, board of directors, and high management, it would be a great game from the launch. Yo, Fat Pat, what's up, dude? Yo, I hit on this yesterday. Our buddy Tinwin brought in an early. Somebody was already getting a taste of the game, and they're like, "It's terrible on PC." Apparently, it's great on console. Terrible on PC, dude. Here we go. It's the same crap, dude. Once again, same crap. I actually put a post. Yeah, I would say. Well, I mean, difference being Gotham Knights was supposed to be locked at 30 frames. This is being it's like unintentionally locked at 30 frames, you know? Like it's I don't know, man. It's Gotham Knights. It's Wolong. It's Hogwarts. It's The Last of Us Part 1. It's Wild Hearts. I mean, dude, the list goes on and on and on and on and on for the PC side of things. We saw we were actually talking, we had an article up yesterday morning talking about the accessibility options they were touting for this game, and our buddy Timwin came in and dropped some info on us about somebody that was already testing the game on PC and how terrible it apparently was. And I've got a video up on YouTube already of us talking about it yesterday, and me just, I mean, I couldn't help but go on a rant about how it's just insane. We're just plagued, dude. It's a plague on us as PC gamers right now. Developers just can't get it, dude. They can't get it right. What's crazy is it's these big developers too. All they want to do is focus on the console side of things, make sure it's polished for console, and then make sure that everybody that's playing the PC version gets cheated. It's so gross. And I don't want to take away from the fact that there are still some studios out there, big studios that are doing a good job on PC, but there are a lot of them, dude, that are trash. Just absolute trash. Even dude, I said this from the day I started playing Elden Ring. Elden Ring was trash on PC too. It's been nonstop. They just don't stop doing it to us. I stated it yesterday in my kind of rant about this kind of thing. They're not going to stop either. As long as they keep making money, they're going to keep doing it to us. People have to quit buying into it, man. Terrible. Terrible. I don't know. Bro, this is disgusting. Absolutely. Absolutely. So this is what I'll tell you. It's very, very obvious to me in the games I've played, and I haven't. I mean, I can't tell you for a fact all of them that are having these issues are that specific scenario, but I would bet money that 3/4 of them are that scenario, if not more. And it's obvious to me whenever I've played games like Elden Ring, I've played games like Hogwarts Legacy that have these specific issues of being fine on console and bad on PC, and I play the PC version day one, and it is so obvious that it was a game made for console and not in any form or fashion optimized for PC. It is balls performance wise, but you can also see a lot of indicators in the game itself that they were not made for PC. So what they're doing now, I've been stating this, and I've been standing by it, is the fact that they get it really, really nice and polished and developed specifically for console, and then before release they go, okay, well, it's good on console, let's just port it over. So instead of specifically also developing it for PC and optimizing it for PC as a platform aside from the other consoles, they port it like it's going to play the same and require nothing different as a PC game than what console games do. And it's terrible. I'll give you some examples of like, it's really, really obvious to me whenever you get into a game and there's no like the controls are set up and they work really well for like a controller, but then on keyboard and mouse they're terrible. Like they just didn't have any idea how to set up the controls for keyboard and mouse in an intuitive way for the game player, and they didn't give you remapping, you know, which is something I also talked about yesterday that should have been standard in games like 10 to 15 years ago. How are there still games coming out today that don't give you by default the option to just rebind and remap keys to fit your playstyle preference, you know, that kind of stuff. Or in like Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy was terrible because any game that has developers that know what they're doing for optimizing a game for PC, you know, even if it's on console too, console, you'll get into menus, right? And you'll have keybinds that let you navigate the menus very easily with like bumper buttons for switching through tabs maybe, or certain buttons to proceed through menus or go back through the menus and even exit the menus, right? Hogwarts Legacy, it was set up that way, but you could tell it was set up that way for controller, but on PC, what you should be able to do is use your mouse, right? You should be able to use your mouse and click on those buttons as whether, so they show up as like hotkeys on the screen. So like escape to go back. So you should either be able to hit escape to go back or click on it with your mouse, right? They didn't do that through the entire game. So anytime you got into a menu, you had to move your hand up and hit escape to work your way all the way back through menus and stuff. Or also things like another example for Hogwarts Legacy that was blatantly obvious, they just didn't set it up for PC. On controllers, you'll be using, like, if you're in a mode of looking at your character or something like that, you'll use like the right joystick to turn the character around and stuff like that. On PC, they didn't set it up for the mouse to be able to just click and hold and drag the character and move the character around to look at it. They wanted you to let go of the mouse and go use your directional keys. It was just, you could just tell that they had no idea what they were doing. It was just all made for console and no regard at all. It was just ported over. It was just ported. It was not made for PC. One second. And it's these kinds of things. It's these kinds of things. Um, Arkham City was apparently Q and E to navigate left. What? Well, yeah. I mean, that's the kind, and this is what I'm saying is, it's like, oh, and not only that, Fat Pep, and dude, I mean, I know I'm using Hogwarts Legacy as a big example right now, but it's one of the more recent games that I've played that it was just, I was getting slapped in the face nonstop by the fact that it was in no form or fashion, they did not try to develop that game at all as a game for PC platform. They ported it over at the last minute, and that's why it was so terrible. Not only that, targeting system in the game, right? Targeting system in the game by default. They also, so you could like hit, I think it was tab to target enemies. And if you were fighting numerous enemies, if you wanted to switch between the enemies, they also wanted you to let go of your mouse, which is your primary thing you're using to fight, and go over and use your directional keys to switch targets. you know, and look, it's not like there haven't been good ports to PC. Okay, so just because a game, because you'll see it quite often. I mean, we've had games that, dude, I'll tell you straight up, God of War, 2018's God of War, blew me away. That game got ported over to PC. It was originally a release for PlayStation 4, came to PS5, right? And that game I played day one release on PC, and it was amazing. It was amazing. You would call it a port because it didn't originally release. Yeah. But you can tell that, Santa Monica Studios took their time. They broke that game down. They really built it back up to make sure that when it came out on PC, it was going to be a phenomenal experience, just like it was on the other platforms it had already been on. So my thing is, like, I don't care if a game comes out at the same time as other platforms or across all platforms, or if it comes out later on a different platform than it did on some other platforms. Whatever the case may be, that game should be explicitly developed and optimized for whatever platform it's releasing on. And right now, all I'm seeing is a aim and focus on trying to make sure things play well on console, and then a severe lack of like attention to quality assurance and detail and actual development of the games for PC. They just like taking the console version, porting it over in a really, really terrible fashion, and just going, well, people will buy it. This is what I was talking about yesterday too. Well, yeah, and I think that's part of the problem. Yeah, and that's exactly what I was getting ready to talk about. they sit there and it's like, it's because quite often you've got a name like Hogwarts Legacy, which is tied to Harry Potter, or you've got Star Wars on it. I mean, you name it, From Software, right? Whatever the case may be, they go, whatever. People are buying it. And they just sit back with that cash, dude. And they'll do it time and time and time and time again until they're not making money on it anymore. And it's disgusting, man. I'm so sick of it. I hit on this yesterday too, and it's not like we haven't seen games come out on console that were terrible. I mean, Cyberpunk, but that was terrible across all cons or all platforms. It seems like it's just a plague on the industry, where you'll get games that come out that are absolutely fine and play really well on console, and that same exact game releasing the same day or even later, they just can't do it on PC, or they just don't care to. They just take that game that they made for a static hardware console and they just don't test it. They don't QA it. They don't give a crap. And then it comes out and all of us PC gamers feel cheated and feel stolen from, really. It's gross. It's terrible, man. And again, I hear these, I get these articles that come up in our news segment all the time talking about, well, it's a hardware issue. I get these articles coming up trying to project the issue on something like hardware. It's a VRAM, and there's not enough VRAM, to run the game correctly. And it's like, dude, that's stupid. If the game's running fine on console, like if it's running fine on PS5, you're talking about the equivalent of like a, roughly the same rig I run on PC. Maybe not even quite as nice as what I run on PC. So you're telling me that a game that runs fine on the PS5 but won't run fine on my rig, it's a hardware issue? Dude, I'm not buying that. It's a development issue. It's an optimization issue. The developers suck, man. And I'm aiming this at all these developers that keep doing this crap. All these games that I've been noting here in this rant that I'm on right now. Not the developers that actually do a solid job, It's very, very obvious to me whenever I get into a game that is very well developed for PC outside of the console versions and stuff. And that's the way it should be. But there's so many that just feel like, it's just port it over. Just port it over so that it'll run on an operating system, and don't worry about it. We'll just ship it. Just ship it.